In one of the recent patches, Enchant was buffed and it helped to fix an issue with ranged attacks, and with that, this build accidentally became OP, and sadly, making it the strongest Firebow build. Not the actual class whom has an entire skill tree based on just bow skills. In today's video, I'm going to go over the build for the Demon Machine Sorceress. A fun build that is so powerful, even on higher player settings, makes nearly all areas of the game still feel like you're playing on Players 1. It gives a good run for its money for a build that is going to be able to challenge your graphics card. I'm going to go over the attributes, the skill tree, the gear for my character and my mercenary, and afterwards I'm going to show you guys some gameplay so you could see this build in action. But do keep in mind that when it comes to this build, there are different ways you can be able to gear the character depending on your needs, whether you're trying to go for maximum DPS, you're trying to do a magifying character, or a hybrid of the two. Just keep in mind when it comes to looking at the gear choices that I'm going to be choosing, that you can choose alternative gear depending on the demand that you have for your build. Before we actually get into the build, the comment shout out for this video is going to be White Coney from my budget punch only bar versus Uber's video, who thought the concept overall was quite brutal. Yes, it very much was, especially the bell fight. Stoked that you enjoyed the video. Now let's go ahead and get into the video. For the attributes, there's enough strength and dexterity to be able to equip the gear, and all the remaining points go into energy, nothing into vitality. For the skill trees, starting with the cold skills, 1 point into frozen armor, then moving on to the fire spells tree, this is where the buffing for the damage you'll be doing will be invested into. Max Warrant to be able to regenerate mana faster, Max Enchant as this is the source of the additional fire damage that will be added to our attacks, and then Max Fire Mastery. Lastly, for the lightning spells, there's enough points into static to be able to get a 16-yard radius after buffing battle orders, so only a 19-point investment to be able to affect the whole screen aside from the corners. Then Max Energy Shield to be able to have the damage being taken come from our mana instead of our health. Then the remaining points will go into Telekinesis to reduce the mana being taken per level with Energy Shield. For the gear, do keep in mind that this is a hero edited character. All the items that you see here are not single self found on single player offline, nor do I play online to be able to have someone assist me with helping me get these items to then showcase in this video. I wanted to put this build together myself to be able to show if it would be worth the time and the resources needed to be able to make it effective, in case anyone would be curious to be able to build this out for themselves, and also just for the spectacle of the concept itself. The helm is Flickering Flame for the level 8 resist fire to boost mine and my mercenary's fire resistance, especially with using the Sunder Charm that I'll go over later. It also has plus to fire skills, negative enemy fire resistance, and mana. The amulet is a crafted caster amulet with added strength, mana regeneration, and all resistance. The armor is Skin of the Viper Magi socketed with a fire facet, and it also has plus to skills, faster cast rate, plus to fire skill damage, and negative to enemy fire resistance, as well as all resistance. The weapon is a Demon Machine. It has fire explosive arrows, which is the main damage that all of the enchant buffing will enhance. It also has Pierce, enhanced damage, maximum damage, and attack rating. The boots are Sandstorm Treks for the faster hit recovery, strength, vitality, and poison resistance. The first ring is a Stone of Jordan for the plus to skills, mana, and regenerate mana. The belt is Razor Tail to be able to add even more Pierce to this build. The second ring is a Ravenfrost for attack rating, mana, and cannot be frozen. The gloves are Mage Fist for the plus to skills, faster cast rate, and regenerate mana. On Switch, I have the staple CTA and Spirit combo to be able to boost mine and my mercenary's health, but also to boost my own mana for Energy Shield. For anyone that would be curious as to why I put my swap items in ethereal bases, I have a video covering why some high-end rune words are put in ethereal bases versus their non-eth counterparts. In the inventory is my cube, bolt tomes, torch, Annie, fire skillers with life grand charms, and the flame rift thunder charm at the end to be able to ensure that everything we fight is not going to be fire immune. And the small charms are all life with resistance small charms. For the additional stats, she has 293% mana regeneration, 65% faster cast rate on the main hand, and 100% faster cast rate on swap, then 294% to fire skill damage, and negative 20% to enemy fire resistance. For the mercenary, he is the Blessed Aim mercenary using Adara's Visage, Fortitude for the body armor, and Infinity for the Conviction aura to help lower the resistance of everything we fight, having our fire damage go even further, especially against enemies that are not already fire immune. Now that we've discussed the attributes, the skill trees, the gear for my character and my mercenary, let's go ahead and check out this build in action to see how well it actually plays out. It's important to show the full extent of the pre-buffing for this character. Some gear swapping is going to be needed, first to buff battle command and battle orders for the additional plus to skills, then switch to a memory staff for the large buff to energy shield, then swap additional fire skillers into the inventory, switch the Ravenfrost for an SOJ or a BK ring for their plus to skills, swap the amulet for a plus 3 to fire skill amulet. The Viper Magi armor is going to be swapped for a plus 3 to enchant Ormus robes, the Ragnar Smash for the plus to skills, and lastly, any sorcerer's orb with either plus to enchant or plus to fire mastery but here I'm using it to shoot his temper. All of these items combined will help Enchant reach level 51 with an additional damage output of up to 5600 per explosion for over 1300 seconds, or over 21 minutes. Buff yourself and the Mercenary with Enchant, then swap all of your items back, go back and rebuff Battle Command and Battle Orders, and then you're good to go. To show the power of this build, all of the gameplay will be shown on Players 7 or Players 8. I want you to see the full capabilities of this build and really take in how broken the damage now has become. With the gameplay, for anyone who'd be curious as to which player settings I'm using for my build guides, the past, presently on screen, and in the future, down in the bottom left corner is what the example gameplay being shown is currently at. Now for most enemies, this will very easily kill everything within 1 or 2 hits, but there will still be some, on Players 8, that will take a bit to be able to kill. But for those that would want to farm in level 85 areas, you wouldn't need to go any higher than Players 1, as any super unique drop odds would be the same regardless of player's difficulty. This build's strength in dealing a lot of damage is trying to group up as many enemies into a dense mob as much as possible. And with Pierce being at 99%, every bolt will pass through, and each time it does, the explosive arrow procs. And with all of the enemies close together, they will all be damaged by several different explosive arrow procs, quickly adding up to a significant amount of damage that each one of them will be taking.
Not even death can save you from me.
I am overburdened. I can't carry anymore.
For some reason, it felt like the 5th wave was much easier than the 4th. And along with Players 8 Bail waves, a Players 8 Bail. Yes, it was a bit slow, but for Players 8, that was pretty good. This build honestly doesn't need you to use Static Field for most monsters that you run into, but to show the differences, here's without using Static Field.
I am overburdened. I am overburdened.
And here's with using Static Field. This is why I was rarely using Static Field at the beginning. The damage output is already at a ludicrous speed.
Ludicrous speed! Go! What the hell was that? They've gone to plaid.
This build is insane for the damage that it does, and the clear speed that it has, even on players 8. But for those who wouldn't be able to build this out with endgame gear, but still want to be able to give this build a try, check out my budgeted version that still has a great clear speed, with whom you could build it out more realistically without over-the-top investment when it comes to the gear. Link down in the description below. And that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and were able to see if this build would be something that you would be interested in going into the future, and if anything, at least just enjoy the video. If you like this kind of content and want to see more, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification to be notified whenever a new video comes out.
Come on. Come on. Come on then. There you are. There you are.
And if you like this video, please let me know by leaving a like. It really is appreciated to be able to help my channel to grow. And if you want to see more of my Diablo 2 Resurrected content, make sure to click the card in the corner up above to check out my Diablo 2 Resurrected playlist with a lot of videos already in it, with a lot more coming in the very near future. Other than that, I hope you guys are staying safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.